Hi everyone, I'm glad to see you here, and I'm happy for you that you passed the screening session. My name is Dina Stila, and I work as a product manager with more than 3 years of experience, and for 2 years I've been working in Uzum Market. Please raise your hand if you know Uzum Market. Good, good. Do you know what is e-commerce? Good. I've been working as a product manager for more than 3 years, and for 2 years I've been working in Uzum Market, and this is the greatest school, the greatest experience that I have gained so far. And today I'm gonna share my experience with you. I will try to make this presentation as more interactive as possible, but don't wait for me beautiful pictures, memes, and etc. I'm here to share useful information with you, and I'm here to help you to build your product. I have built many products during my work life, and most of these products are working in a Zoom market, but you don't see them because I work for, how to say, not B2C product, but inner product that is used by our workers. So that's why I cannot show you like this is our application, this part is made by me, and etc. No, but product manager is a person who can build different products, no matter who is the client of this product, be it business, B2B product, B2C product, or in a product like VMS or LMS. Do you know what is VMS? VMS? Yes? Yes, warehouse management. And LMS? No. It's a logistics management system. The system, yeah. The system that is responsible for all the transportation, logistics units, and flow of the SKU items. This is just details of my work, and now we will dive into our presentation. So let's first start. Do you know what is discovery and delivery processes in product development? Have you ever? Yes. Hello.
Of the features
Yes, and what is delivery? Yes. Exactly. Have you ever built any product? So what did you use? How did you start building a product? By the needs? Mhm. Did you do any research, cost depth, and etc.? Yes? No? Yes. Cool. You? Yes, exactly. I'm not gonna grab your attention during the whole workshop. It's your responsibility to listen. So let's start. What Another question? What is a product cycle? Product development cycle. What are the main stages of the product development cycle? Yes. Can you start from scratch? Analyzing. Testing, maintenance. What about discovery, research? Analyzing, you mean analyzing what? System? Mhm. There are two types of analysis, product analysis and the system analysis. What kind of analysis do you mean? Project? What is the difference between project and product? Okay. So let's start. Today table of content is like this. We're going to talk about the product development cycle, discovery checklist. I'm going to provide a checklist which will help you to develop your product. It doesn't mean that you will have to use all of them, but most of them will be useful for you. This presentation will be shared, so don't waste your time on taking pictures, just listen, and we will give you the link, right? So, discovery increments, what will you have to have after your discovery process? Delivery, metrics evaluation, adjustments, we will try to put the theory into practice, and key takeaways that you will have to get with you from this workshop. So, product development cycle. There are 5 major points, highlights of product development cycle. So first you have an idea, then you discover this idea, you make a research, interviews, and etc. You make a delivery process. This is the thing that you are all familiar with because you know how to code, you know how to put stuff into the task tracking, tools like Jira, etc. Right? Asana, Notion, where what do you use usually for task tracking? Notion, Trello, Evernote. What about Jira? What framework do you use? Agile, Kanban, Scrum. Okay, so metrics evaluation and adjustments. Today, now we will talk about every step of this product development cycle, and we will skip the idea part because the idea part is easy. Mostly we have idea based on the problem or idea based on the things that we want to improve in the process. It can be business process or it can be just some processes in our life that we want to make better and etc. Or we have some problems that we know how to solve and this becomes our idea. And next, whenever we have our idea, we start with discovery process. Discovery process is very important process in product development, because without discovery you cannot how to say, highlight all the important things that you have to do in your product, and you start to focus on everything. But product development is not about making everything from the first time. It's about highlighting 3 or 4 main features that you have to cover, and then starting from them. You discover them, prioritize them, and then start to deliver. You analyze first what metrics do you want to influence, what metrics you want to increase, and etc. And then after your deployment, you see your metrics, how they changed, and make adjustments. Mostly, it's recommended to make the iteration-based development. Iteration means in the first iteration you do like 3 features, in the second iteration you do 2 features and adjust like dog of the technical debt. Yes, technical debt from your previous iteration, and etc. And this cycle never ends. Developing a product is not about you started, you launched, and that's it, you stop there. No, it's ever continuous development process that you improve your product all the time. It's like Apple always have new I would say updates for your smartphone, and they could upload everything from the first time, but no, they make their customers addicted to their product. That's why they upload one by one their adjustments. Some of them are very useful for the customers, some of them not, and the customers are looking and waiting for next updates. So that's why we're so addicted to Apple. This is their approach to the product development. That's why Apple is not ending company. iPhone is not ending product. It's not like they launched iPhone and ended their product development there. They always continue improving. So this is the main takeaway. Never look at the project at the product like you start, you launch, and that's it. It will end. No, it's not gonna end, and you should not end. Whenever you stop developing a product, your business is gonna be bankrupt. Ever learning, ever continuous improvement in your product is very important, crucial for your business to be sustainable, be stable on the market. So let's start from the discovery process. From idea to validation. Most of you know what is validation canvas, right? Is it right? Canvas? Do you know what is it? Yes. Have you ever filled this table of canvas? Okay. Filling the canvas is crucial when you start with your idea, but it's not very important in your product development process. It's important when you consider and go through your idea, like you see what are your customers, what are the channels of communication, what are the channels of selling your product, etc. I guess this would be useful, Martina, to share the canvas with the teams afterwards. And now we will talk about what comes after the canvas. This is the product discovery. What is the purpose of discovery? Is identifying the problems that should be solved in your product. And the key tools and methods are user interviews, competitor analysis, and prototyping. Some of the useful tools and instruments that can be used while you're making discovery is user research, market analysis, hypothesis testing, and etc. It is very important to make a hypothesis while you're considering your product and checking your hypothesis whether they are true or not. It's very important to have product analysis or product manager. In your case, product manager is a person who is leading your team. So you have to analyze and make the hypothesis write down all the hypotheses that are related to your product and check them whether they are valid or not. If they are valid, for example, you have written 10 hypotheses, 3 of them are valid, you prioritize them, and then according to the most priority hypothesis, you start building your product. So here I wrote down 12 discovery checklists that are important while making your discovery. It really depends on the product that you are building, because if you are building a mobile app, you will gonna have different discovery processes and different discovery increments after your discovery process. Or whether you are building a web platform, you will have to have different discovery actions that you're gonna have. So here I wrote down every discovery highlights that you have go through, and not all of them are directly related to your product, because here are all the general stuff, because you have to be specific to your product, and specifically to your product, you're gonna choose what discovery processes you're gonna conduct and go through them. For example, define objectives and scope, stakeholders identification and engagement. So you're gonna have your stakeholders. Stakeholders are your clients or people who have direct and indirect impact on your product. So let's have some interaction. For example, what product are you going to have, and who are your stakeholders?
One of my stakeholders is me, my founders. I don't understand what they mean by
stakeholders. Are people who have direct or indirect influence on your product.
The accelerator team,
No.
they will just give me some advices.
No, your stakeholders are the.
Yes.
No. Your stakeholders can be your clients who can impact on your product. Your stakeholders can be the people who are going to use your product. In your case, yes, it can be BRB, but not directly BRB. It's BRB. It's their workers who are going to use. Like if it is the mobile application, this is the people who analyze, make this data analysis and provide to the client. They are your stakeholders. They can affect your product and say, like, make the requirements different, etc.
Yeah, then I can tell like workers of B2B, because there will be first users who will give me feedback. So
yes, they are your stakeholders. You wanted to ask, yes. Yes.
This can be startups.
Your crowdfunding, making crowd. Yes, your stakeholders are startups that put their startup to your platform, and also your stakeholders can be businesses and investors who want to invest to the businesses. And also your stakeholder can be B2B, because they are the intermediary between business and the startups. Yes, they're also your stakeholders, and you're gonna it's recommended for you to conduct an interview with them, to ask your questions and etc. But this job must be made by us for you. Everything was asked from them, and everything is written in the requirements of your task. So what is written in the requirements is everything they want to see from the product. No more, no less. Maybe more, but not less. Market research, you know what, user research, you know what, the client research, who is your client, what is the portrait of your client, and etc. Requirements gathering, it's very important to gather your requirements and make a documentation about what you are going to do, what your product is going to have, what functions, features, who are the users, what authorization is going to have your product, etc. Documentation and requirements gathering is very important. I wrote it down here because in your assignment you will have this. Assignment for the first week. You will have to gather your requirements and pass it to the mentors because these requirements will be evaluated. Technical feasibility assessment. It means that not everything can be done with your stack. For example, not everything. For example, you don't have some developers and etc. And not everything can be done and can be implemented in your product. So that's why it's very important to write what is the feasibility of your team of your product. Technical feasibility. For example, you have only Java developer, you need Python, but you cannot. So that's why you're writing Java. Yes.
It's like weaknesses or
technical, yes. What you cannot do technically, yes. Define product vision and strategy. It's also important because, as I said earlier, you may remember that you have to start from the small niche, small number of features that you will going to have in your product, and it doesn't mean that you stop there. You will have, for example, 50 features that you want to add, but you prioritize them, and top 3 you implement in your first iteration. But others, they don't mean that you will never do it. You will divide them according to prioritization and make a timeline where you put that in the first iteration, I will do these 3 features. In the second iteration, I will do these 3 features, and etc. And how much time is gonna take you each iteration. And it will help you to build your timeline and strategy for your product. And you will have an understanding when your product is gonna end. It's never gonna end, but still for the short term, when your product is gonna end, what is the strategy of your product, and what, for example, to the end of the year, what features will have your product. So, vision and strategy, very important. Create initial prototype and wireframes. Prototype is like, I'm using Figma. Are we having here any designers? Product designers? Yes, yes. Only 2 people. 3. Okay, cool. You're all using Figma, right? What about Figma Jam? Yes. What purposes are you using for Figma Jam? Brainstorm. You're building the business processes, functional processes, right? User flow, customer flow. Cool, cool. Figma Jam is better than Miro, so it's cool that you're using Figma Jam. And Figma Jam and Figma have this ability to make a prototype clickable. If, for example, for your demo day, you will not have an opportunity to create the final product and etc., you at least the baseline, you can make the prototype that can be clickable, that judges at the end of the demo day during your presentation can at least tap the buttons and see what their customer journey is, where it will bring them. So at the end of discovery, you have to have prototype. And in your weekly assignments, there's also assignment for week 2 there where you're going to show us that you have your at least screenshots of the design. So conduct feasibility studies, plan for validation and testing. It's validation and testing is like when you develop your product, you test it. Document findings and recommendations, review and approve discovery outcomes. This file will be sent to you. You have to read everything one by one and underline for yourself what are checklists you are going to go through for your product. Not everything is adjustable to everything, but you have to choose what is appropriate for your product. And what are the increments of discovery? After your discovery process, mostly it takes 1 week. If you are making small product, And if you're making a big product, it's gonna take up to 1 month. So in your cases, it's gonna take 1 week or 1.5. And at the end of the discovery process, you are going to have concept design, user interface, and user experience. In your assignments, again, I will repeat, you have this assignment that you have to show us the screenshots of your product. So next is delivery. I dedicated only one slide for delivery because I'm more than sure that you all know what is delivery about and how to deliver the product. In product development, the most important part is discovery because you analyze everything, you make a strategy, and you prioritize features that you want to implement. And when you have these direct, understandable paths for development of your product, delivery is gonna be easy because you have a good understanding of functional flow, user flow, you have all the prototypes and user stories. Do you know what is user story? No, it's not. It's not it's about prioritizing. Yes. No.
It's the same word, it shows the problem of the target or specific user, faces the problem that our product solves, and it can also show how the product will solve the problem.
Some kind of, yes. Basically, user story is like user enters an application in order to what? In order to complete what action? I enter pay me in order to make a transaction. This is a user story. But this is a very wide user story. You have to make user story specific to the features that you are making in your product. So, for example, if I'm making a crowdfunding platform, I would write a user story like, I am as a business or I am as an investor want to enter a platform in order to search for startups that I want to invest in. So what feature is it for? This user story for what feature? For search, yes, this is for search. I, as an investor, want to categorize all the startups that are given in the platform. What feature for? Filter, yes. So you got it. Do you got it? What is user story? User story is a statement that describes what feature you are going to develop. So there are methodologies, you all know them, and you surely want to have task tracking tools like Asana, Trello, Notion, Jira, and etc. And in delivery process, you have planning, development, testing, launch, deployment, releases, and etc. And this cycle goes on and on. And after you launched your first iteration, for example, your iteration consists of 3 features. For example, in crowdfunding, it can be authorization, scrolling catalog, and choosing startup. When I press the startup, I open the information about that. So this is first iteration. In first iteration, what metrics you are going to check? And this is very important. While you are developing your product, you have to, from the beginning, write all the metrics you are going to influence. For example, how many clicks are made to each business startup, for example, or how many daily users, how many monthly users, how many feature users. DAO, MAO, you know these metrics, right? Do you know them? Yeah. Yes. DAO is the daily average users, MAO monthly average users, and etc. So there are different metrics that can be calculated for your product, and I have written very important metrics, but they are also all not specific. You have to choose those metrics that are relatable to your product. For example, product performance metrics, system uptime and reliability, response time, and latency. This metric is important to every product that are here developing for web platforms, for mobile apps, and so on. This metric can be used by everyone, every trend that we are having here. User experience metric, user satisfaction, usability also can be used in mobile apps, in webs. Business metrics, return on investment, revenue, and profitability. So this metric is not mandatory to you because we're not here about calculating the money and monetization. We're here about building the product. But if you have time and have knowledge how to calculate business metrics, you are more than welcome to do it. And customer metrics is customer acquisition, retention rate. Do you know what is retention rate? So what is it?
How person use your app? When if the person used more than once, it's
yes. To be more specific, retention rate is how often one client returns to your application or returns to your platform. And it doesn't mean only returns and makes action. If you're making like selling platform, how many investments did they do? Because only returning to your platform doesn't give you anything, to be honest. You have to make, if your monetization in crowdfunding commission from the transaction, you are interested in action that investor will invest to the startup. So that's why here your retention rate is going to be related to how many transactions one user makes. And how much did you earn from every transaction, and sum up all the commission rate. And customer churn rate is like also returning to your application or web. So main takeaway is metrics are our feedback loop. They tell us whether our product is meeting its goals. It's very important to look at your metrics and what business visualization metrics visualization tools do you know? What data visualization tools do you know? Data visualization tools. Yes. Okay. Superset, Grafana. So yes, you know them. So it's recommended to you to show all your metrics in data visualization tools so that your stakeholder can open this dashboard, let's say, and see on real time what is the effect of your product in metrics. Quality metrics is like how many bugs do you have while developing your product, and defect density, how many defects and etc. you have, how many new releases do you have, operational metrics, deployment frequency, incident response time, deployment frequencies. What do you think? What is the preferable time frequency of deployment? What? Every what? Once what? Once a year? No. The more frequently you do your deployment, the better. If you do once a week, it's also not good. You have to make, for example, you have 3 main tasks, 3 rated tasks, and you make release. Make release as often as possible. No, don't do it. Make it as frequently as possible. Yes, releases. Operational metrics, deployment, incidents. Do you know how to solve incidents? What is incident?
Client doesn't like client app.
No,
Like user 24/7, like user support, like
no, it's not incident.
When
Incident is, you're talking about operational process. I'm talking about technical process of incident.
Yes.
When service is down, when you have your infrastructure problems, you are building your infrastructure, you have your services, and for example, you service in Yandex Cloud and etc., and something in Yandex went down. It means that you are having incident and you have to solve it. And what time does it take for you to solve the incident? This is very important. This is also the metrics that you have to consider. But to be honest, for the beginning, it's not very important. When you will have a big product, it's gonna be important for you to track the reaction time for the incident. So adoption and usage, active users, feature users, it's very clear, I guess. Active users are users who enter your application or platform, and feature users are users who are using, for example, only one feature. In my case, for example, I enter PayMe in order to check my balance, and I use only this feature. This is example. Strategic metrics, market share, and strategic alignment. This metric also very important, but in case when you are having big product, for the beginning, don't pay attention to it because you have to concentrate on development rather than calculating your market share. And adjustments. As I said, when you calculate your metrics, you analyze everything that you have done and build second iteration. You are analyzing that, for example, in the beginning, I made a timeline that my second iteration is gonna have these three features. But after your first iteration, implementation, and calculating your metrics, you are analyzing that something different is more important, and you prioritize your features for the second iteration and make how to say pivot from the first three features that you decided to do in second iteration, make different features, and continue your development. So iterative approach is very important. Don't build product that is going to have everything. You are not gonna finish this product. Start from the first step, implement three features, and then make it better and better. So the key message here is the cycle doesn't end with launch. It's continual process of learning and improvement. And theory into practice. Here we're going to have some interaction. So now we gathered everything, and you, I hope, listened to everything that I said. I hope this information was useful for you. And now let's try to put this theory into practice. Let's make a discovery process of some product. Let's come up with product first. Ideas? What?
Food macros tracking.
Food macros tracking?
Yeah, like for people that want to have a
You have to listen. I said that I'm not gonna grab your attention. You are here to listen. So next. Any other ideas? What product can we suggest now in order to make the theory into practice?
And one application where users can invest their money, let's say $1 million or $100, in the different startups by diversifying crowdfunding.
It's like crowdfunding their platform.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Bus stop map. Bus stop map. Okay. Yes. Oh, car sharing, very interesting. Do we have car sharing? Car sharing, yes. I know that we have car rent, but we don't have car sharing as far as I know. So this idea is very new for me. Let's try on this idea because bus stop we have in Yandex. You said calorie tracking we have in Fast Eat, and crowdfunding we have in their platform. So these things we already have. So let's continue with yours. What was it? Car renting, car sharing. Okay, what is it gonna be? It's gonna be mobile or it's gonna be web? From what platform will you start? Mobile, okay. So let's make a discovery. Discovery is mostly about asking questions and answering to them. If you were doing the mobile app for car sharing, what questions would you ask for your discovery process? Target audience. Okay, let's ask for this question. Who is going to be target audience of this app? What? Yes, this is the better description of the clients because drivers is very broad description, very broad. Drivers can be everyone, and in my perception, driver is a man. We have to make it more clear. Who is our client, woman or man? What age is he? What does he do? When does he use this application? How is he going to use it, or when is he going to use it? So let's answer these questions. Let's start from the client portrait.
30.
20 to 30.
Yeah, because city plus mostly a lot of them they have their own car.
Good point.
And when they want to grab their family and go somewhere else to mountains, for example,
So it means our app will be mostly used in weekends, right? What about weekdays? In the morning or after work?
Just me personally, I don't see that in the morning they will use it because it's better to use Yandex. In my or it's also even easier to grab Yandex.
Any other opinions? Do you think is it gonna be used in weekdays or only in weekends?
I have idea for where to use it. We can use it sightseeing, basically, maybe long to walk. They have to have a transport like something to go.
So you are more likely to think that it's gonna be used in weekends.
For travelers, this is like like regions like Samarkand and stuff. And go there.
Family don't have a car, so they can just ask the car for weekdays.
For weekdays. Just can we go by order? Guy from there. Zayton, okay, girl from there.
Yes, I think that it should be available on weekdays and weekends as well.
Yes, for sure. We're talking about what when the metric of daily use and monthly use is going to be high on weekdays or in weekends.
Are people who are working as well and people who are going to different activities as well.
Wanted to say. Yes, girls. Yes. So while we were talking about when this app is going to be mostly used, what metric are we looking for to measure? What metric we will be measuring from this? Daily average user. And weekly and monthly, and when this metric goes up and when this metric goes down. It means that, for example, if I was a business runner of this platform, I would put more cars in weekends because I know there are high traffic there. In less cars in during weekdays because I know that there is going to be less demand for it. This metric, you see how metric is important. For example, if I don't have my own car park, I would rent it from somewhere and put it down sub-rent. Do you understand what I mean? Yes.
Car sharing, like I have a car and I can share only one car. It is kind of for brief amount of time. For example, in weekdays also, everybody can share it.
Yes, we just talked. We said that in weekdays and weekends, we said that by asking this question, we're analyzing the metric, but we know that every day there's gonna be demand. Yes. C2C, yes. Yes, in my case, I was talking about car sharing, when car renting, when I said that if I don't have cars, I would sub-renting the cars. Yes, good point.
Gonna be that person.
What?
As a platform owner, you're gonna be that person who are going to sub-rent the cars by borrowing from the people who took their cars and by not looking in the park lots.
In this case, we don't need the specification, so we have a lot of like people who share and want to buy. We don't just need the peak times or days or the
Times are, I would say it's important. For example, what if I want to make additional sellings, доп. Продажи, да, например, additional sellings, and I would like to know these metrics. I would like to know what is the peak time, what can I offer, and for example, how Yandex does. In peak times, they increase the rate. For example, I would increase the rate on the weekends. So this is, you see, I'm highlighting the importance of metrics. You have to consider them while you are making discovery in order to know how your features are going to affect these metrics. Because these metrics are the tools that will bring you money in the future. So, yes, the last one.
We can make it seasonal, as you know.
Sure.
In summer, on most of mountains and
yes,
it's actually more demandable on summer. So maybe do some change of the prices or
yes, change the rates and etc. So, thank you. This was the example of how to ask questions while you are making discovery. This is very important because every product manager is a researcher. You have to ask questions, you have to ask right questions, and you have to know what metrics you are going to influence. Because as I said, these metrics are your money. So this was the example of how to do the discovery. In our words, it's like brainstorming. Just know what questions to ask and know what metrics to influence. And the last slide that I'm going to share is about the main takeaways. Remember that product development is not about the thing that starts and ends. It never ends. It's ever continuous process. And here are the main takeaways that you have to take with you. I'm not gonna read them all to you, but when we share this presentation, I want you to go through the presentation, highlight very important things for your product, and do the research and make a discovery process. Don't start from developing right away because you are going to have everything and no direct plan. Make a direct plan of development, what you're going to develop, and then start developing. So from my part, this is it. If you have any questions, you can ask. We have how much time? 5 minutes. Yes, question?
As you say, it's important to ask right questions for the
Yes.
So is there any metrics or requirements that can help us to identify if the question is good or not good?
Is there guideline?
That we get as much information for our future.
This is the question from open source. Just ask Google, ask ChatGPT. They will help you to build the correct structure of questions that you're going to ask from your interviewers. It depends on how many people you are going to interview. For example, there can be focus group of 10 people, and it's preferable to have less amount of questions, but specific, because they are going to have a discussion. So that's why it's going to take time. If you're making a one-to-one interview, you are going to have like 20 questions because it's going to take less time to ask one person rather than 10 people. So depending on this, you choose how many questions you ask. Yes.
And I think, before asking questions, you should do some kind of research, like, maybe on our case, like car sharing, like, there are another car sharing services and other.
For sure, yes.
Like, you can, see their, reputation and, what are they doing and, by.
Sure.
This asking your own question, like, how can I improve their work? How can I add something more so it can be more rentable profit?
Yes, and you can make tricky things. You can find their clients.
What was it? These
Feasibility, technical feasibility. You can find their users, invite them to the interview, and ask from them about the technical lacks and problems that have your competitor and implement it in your product. But firstly, you have to prioritize. Never go to competition with your competitor. Make your product as good as possible, and then make features better and better. No more questions?
During the development process, advice or
you have groups with your mentors. These mentors will help you with the questions. If the mentor cannot answer to your question, he will direct this question to me, and then I will answer to your question. It's the last one.
How to convince people to have interview?
It's easy. Money is the best motivation. You pay money. No, there is no one who is going to answer to a question for free. Even полевые исследования, полевые, знаете, да, когда вы выходите на улицу, are conducted with the prize. Like those who are interviewers, they have bags with the prizes, and they say, would you answer to our 10 questions, and we will give you something in reward. Nothing is done for free. And if you are asking people to answer a question for free, they will not be honest with you. So allocate your budget, small amount of money for the interviews. This is, you decide, 5%, 3%. No, you decide. It depends on how much money you have. So, if there are no questions, I'm happy that you almost all listened to what I said. I hope that this workshop was useful for you, and see you next time. That's it. So now, what is the question to be? answers, you can go home and continue working. The ones that had the online sessions with their mentors, you can stay here, but you don't have Wi-Fi available for you, unfortunately.
These are my social media accounts. You can go to my LinkedIn, Telegram, and Instagram. Follow. Actually, everything for me. But please don't write to me in Telegram. If you have questions about the hackathon, please first write to your mentor, and then he will write to me. But in LinkedIn, in Instagram, feel free. Not about hackathon.
What about,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, LinkedIn, Instagram, if you're asking professional questions, please LinkedIn. Let's separate the here. It's free and good platform to start from, but when you have a amount of money, go to the market. It's more expensive, but very useful. Who's that? Program is very important. Of course, going to pursue the career there. Start from Да, я его заменила.
Я ему это говорю, потому что мне интересно, он
Ну вот сегодня у вас стоит какой
Я тоже могу.
Да.
Я
Ну, форма направления.
мобайл.
Он не твой ментор. Я просто думала, что он твой ментор, поэтому.
Даже лучше, да? Я сегодня не делаю какой-то нужно ли это?
Я же сказала, оно нет, продукция даже готовы маленькие стартапы очень полезно, сметчики очень полезно.
Нет, я знаю, что такое так.
Делать ставку.
Я поняла, почему я не то, что прям выходит во время того, как мы будем продукты, что-то готовить на это и показывать но при этом еще людей, которые любят контролировать. Потому что
ну, есть.
потери. Ладно.
Это не воды, для усталости. Он может читать книги про коммуникацию. Да, да. Он, чтобы научиться писать, нужно научиться коммуницировать. Вот. Получается, здесь рабочая книга «How to do», он 10 статей по communication. Читайте эту книгу, там, конечно, например, корпорации, но в целом она применима вообще во всем мире при межличностных отношениях, как о чем-то договориться, как кого-то о чем-то договорить, сделать даже бесплатно. И есть еще книга на коллегии, как делать людей, как тоже побеждение, как только побеждать. Там много техник, например, всегда обращаться по имени, типа, неприятно делать, темно закрыто. Потому что люди, они всегда самолюбивы, и им нравится, когда слышат свои имя. Вот, и всегда при любом запросе говорит имя. Это самый легкий прием. В целом, когда прочитаете книгу, там очень много приемов, вы можете потом применять в своей жизни. Не любой. Люди с финансами задумываются, начиная с 25 лет, когда начинают работать, и заканчивая 50, когда они уже ничего не понимают в технологии. То есть ваша аудитория это 25-50. 50 уже люди мало задумываются о финансах, в контексте уже дети все люди. То есть не делайте слишком широкого